It's the SDG Podcast. Before we get started, you can check us out on the web at solutiondesign.com/podcast or find us on all the social medias, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Solution Design Group. Welcome, everybody. Today, we're your SDG Podcast guests. I'm Kyle Bacher.
I'm El Stahura.
Oh, I'm Chad Jetner.
I'm Peter Lawrence.
And we are joined today by our host, Emily Vanderlaan. And she's taking over today, so I have no idea what's going to happen.
Yes, I'm completely taking over. Kyle's actually exiled from the podcast host position, so.
This is an intervention.
Yep.
This is all wrong. I should leave.
He's on mute.
So yeah, I'm gonna take over, get to know you guys a little bit more, and ask some fun questions about you and your work and your life, and it'll be great. Are we ready?
Let's do it.
All right.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, first one is really easy and something I'm honestly genuinely interested in. So we are on a podcast, so I want to know your guys' favorite podcasts or what you guys listen to. Sort of the crux that got me into podcasts was a crime podcast. So that's kind of the genre that I stay in, which is, I don't know, maybe that's interesting. That's something you guys you obviously don't know about me, but
Which one?
I love the crime. It was, I don't remember the name of the specific podcast, but I'm going to butcher his name right now, but it's the Adnan Syed.
Oh,
Serial.
Serial, right?
Yeah, Serial. That's what it was called. That was like the first one I had ever listened to. And then I started diving more into like Crime Junkies. And then I got more out of the crime podcast genre into like Armchair Expert with Dax Shepard and sort of those interesting interview type style podcasts.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the interview ones. I love comedy and comedians, and so if my favorite comedians are being interviewed or are interviewing people, Joe Rogan has a lot of comedians on his podcast, does a lot of comedy. Chad, I will come to your house.
Will you?
Yeah.
That would involve leaving yours. I don't think you will.
Ooh.
That's true. I can't deny it. So, usually it's following guests on different interview podcasts. Hardcore History, to me, is probably one of the best things that have come out of podcasting. Where you just learn a lot of stuff that you
That's 12 hours you'll never get back.
If someone
Do you
can
want
go
them
out,
back? No.
If someone can go out and really learn stuff and research it and put that much effort into it, it's worth listening to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Elle, what are you into?
I like a heavy dose of variety. So everything from No Such Thing as a Fish, which is a British factoid show with lots of comedy. This Week in Virology for knowing what's going on with our current global situation. I have gone down the true crime hole as well as you, Emily. So yeah, I did Serial. I've done My Favorite Murder. I've done Last Podcast on the Left. And then sort of more conversational, like sociology type podcasts like Code Switch as well. I really enjoy. So I can't stick with one genre for too long. I like having lots of different things coming at me so that I have a podcast for every mood. Chad, what about you?
I don't have a podcast. I just have like 3 or 4. So like what I do, I listen to like all the NPR weekend shows in podcast form, right? So This American Life, I'll listen to that every single week. Wait, Don't Tell Me, like the with Peter Lawrence. Is that it? That's his name, right?
It's not Peter Lawrence, but it is Peter.
Yeah.
Peter Sagal.
Peter Sagal. Gosh darn it.
Although
Sorry.
Peter Lawrence, if you had a history in helping screenwrite Dirty Dancing 2, we really need to have a podcast about that.
Oh, I wish.
So
Nice.
those NPR podcasts, are they all people that are talking like this? And next we'll have this thing happening.
Some of them.
This thing. Anyway.
Not all of them.
Sorry. Okay.
I did listen to Emily. I did listen to Serial and the follow-up. Did you listen to the follow-up? It's actually got a naughty word in the title. It's SHTTOWN, but that was actually really good. Where they followed the guy that, whatever. Did you listen to that one?
No, I didn't even know that there was a
missing out.
follow-up.
Oh yeah, it was on NPR, so it's you can, but it's the same people that did Serial did a follow-up, and it was really good.
Okay.
And then Gleeman and the Geek. That's my Twins baseball podcast with Aaron Gleeman and John Bona's local guys. I will listen to that nonstop all the time. That's really it, though. Like that is.
That sounds like a podcast where they would have sound effects, like a buzzer, a bell.
No. Nah.
Gleeman of the Geek.
Yeah. So that's what I listen to. But it's really just those three. And then once in a while, if a nice crime one comes across, I'll listen to it. But I don't like interviews because here's the thing, right? Like there's certain comedians I like, there's certain musicians I like their music, I like their whatever, and certain performers that I really enjoy. I don't need to know more about them. Like I really don't. I don't need to know, like I'm a huge Wilco fan, right? I don't want to find out that Jeff Tweedy is, got some bad take on the vaccines or something. Like I just don't want to know, right? Like I want to enjoy his music and let that exist in a box. I don't want to listen to interviews with him or read his book or any of that other stuff. I just want to know that. So I try to stick to more factual stuff and kind of box,
So more the old school type entertainment, way back where it was more rumors and innuendo, but if you weren't reading the trashy magazines at the end of the checkout counter, you weren't going to get any of that stuff anyway.
Yeah, I mean, my podcast habits are really like Sunday morning radio, essentially, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you do, Peter? I'm sure you've got a podcast on whittling, right?
No, fountain pens, but not whittling. I have currently 32 podcasts sitting in my podcast listener. I obviously cannot get through. I can basically not get through more than 2 or 3 of them anymore because I don't have all that wonderful commute time to drive around and listen to podcasts. But there's some conversations. I've got hardcore history. I've got some music ones just for kind of things like that. A lot of 2-person conversation ones, just about people that I've been following long enough that I feel like I know them, even though they're complete strangers, but I know everything about their lives because I've listened to them for 10 years now or longer. I started with one of them on like Mac Break Weekly, and then they left that show and did some other shows. And so I caught them there, and then they've done more shows and things like that. So kind of following around different podcast networks and stuff like that. So, and a fountain pen podcast because those are the important things.
Peter, is there really a fountain pen podcast?
Absolutely. Pen Addict Podcast.
Does it go any further than the G2? Like the G2, I feel like is the pinnacle of pen tech.
They left the G2 in the dust probably about episode 30. They're on currently episode 491. So
Is it just one pen per episode?
No. It's all the latest pen news, sort of things about, let's tune in here.
It would probably, if I needed a pen right now, it would take me an hour of digging through stuff in my house to find a pen.
Yeah, you wouldn't do that, but
I don't have like pens laying around. I just don't.
How do you function?
I don't write things down.
It's broken.
It's all in my head.
Can we do a pen podcast? Like I'm a big fan of the gel pens. That's my thing.
Yes, gel pens are the best.
Yeah, like 0.5 needle tip. That's kind of my
wood case pencil or mechanical. Which one?
Mechanical. every time.
Mhm.
Or
no.
artist pencils.
Yeah, mechanical because I like to clickety click.
Clickety click.
Emily, can I ask you a quick question? Like, is this going off the rails too fast, or do you need to get us back on track with
Yeah, take
actual
control, Emily. Come on.
right? Because how did we
Okay,
get to mechanical
enough
pencil?
of pens. Sick of pens. There.
The
Come
truth
on.
comes out.
All right. So now we're transitioning into your professional work. Okay. So all of you have been or are consultants. And when I first started, learning about the industry and consultants, I was thinking like, we listened to your podcast on coming into a new team and if they don't like you. And I thought, why would anyone want to be in that position and go into a company where no one really wants you? So I want to know why you all chose to go into this sort of position instead of going to a company where you can have a job that you work on consistently, you stay at that organization versus a consultant.
Chad.
Well,
Since
here's the
you
thing.
just came to consulting. Or
Yeah,
came back.
I came back to consulting just mostly because this is where all my friends are, right? Like I've got a lot. I've had a lot of friends at SDG that go back to early days of Peter Lawrence, right? So it wasn't really like, for me, it wasn't really consulting or static or whatever. And I think, like you mentioned the podcast where we talk about going into a company where people don't necessarily want you. I think we might have made a caricature out of that situation because like the clients that I go to, yeah, there's a little hesitancy there. And then there's a little period of time where you've kind of got to prove yourself and say like, yeah, we actually do know what we're talking about and ask good questions. But you do get kind of a fresh start every few years, with every few, you go to a new client, you get to do something new, you get to make new friends, new connections. There's a whole world of possibilities, and you turn over. I honestly don't know what's going to be normal. I feel like I might be at my client a little bit longer, but the opportunity to consistently be exposed to new things without having to switch companies is nice, right? Even for older guys like me and Peter and whoever else, right? Like I'm not really a big change guy. Like I don't really like it. I think it's dumb, but this is pleasant and I get to work with my friends, right? So that's something that I very much enjoy.
Good.
I don't know. Peter, what keeps you here?
What keeps me here? Like you said, working with a lot of people that, are super fun to work with. One of our consultants says they like working with all the smart people here. And I have to agree. It's fantastic when you work on a team with SDG people. It's like, oh, this is so amazing. They've been hand selected, picked from the best of the best, and I get to work with them. So that's super fun. Chad, you were talking about, I'm not sure how long my gig will be. I've had gigs as short as, 10 hours, which, go help a customer fix a problem. Okay, I can go do that. I've had gigs as long as 4 years. So, and just the variety of everything in between. I don't have to do as much SharePoint since we have acquired Kyle, which is always a wonderful thing. But just the different challenges, the different industries, the different people that you get to work with, the different people that you may come back around and work with again. It's just a blast. I love it. How about you, Al?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't want to, but it's for me. It's the people, right? Like it's just the constantly like a fresh set of people, a fresh set of buddies. I make new best friends every so often. Technology, whatever. But
yeah,
it's the people. Sorry, Al. I
No, I think that was totally worth adding in. For me, yeah, the variety is one of the key things. So like I mentioned, I've done a lot of different assignments, and that is such a, as stressful as that can be, like going from client to client to client to client. It also is a relief because then you come into projects like, okay, this has a defined set of time where I'm going to be working with this technology with these people. How can I do my best job here? and then go off and, okay, let's figure out what worked on that assignment, what didn't work, and tweak how I go to the next one. So it's a really explicit chance to learn and grow as a person while also getting exposure to how the same problem can be solved in a lot of different ways. And that's something that is simultaneously frustrating and fascinating to me. So yeah, that I really liked. I mean, on the kind of pragmatic end, working in tech there, with full-time jobs, sometimes that means that there's an expectation of working overtime all the time. And consulting makes that a lot more of a defined conversation, which I appreciate. So it helps me have a better work-life balance, because then I can be more specific about, okay, yes, let's do overtime under these circumstances. Otherwise, no, I have a movie to watch. So it's variety and balance. Yeah.
Okay. And then Kyle, what was your sort of defining factor, or multiple factors that sort of made you switch from being a consultant to going into IT and becoming that static position?
So you're turning it around on me. How did I leave consulting?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, I want to chime in on why I started doing consulting.
Okay.
Because it ties in, it bookends. So I was doing tech support for many years. That's how I got into IT. Before that, I have worked at a number of places doing a number of things. Too many to go into right now. That's a whole series of podcasts. But the idea of consulting, where you have to basically get a new job every so often and go through that process of interviewing and being new. I have done that so many times that it didn't frighten me at all to have to do that. And I did a lot of work in the service industry. So it was a really good fit. It had the customer service aspect, it had the variety. And I also followed the technology because that was the thing that was going to get me beyond tech support. So I was never a programmer, and I never coded. I never did anything like that. I need GUI buttons, levers, things like that. I'm a great configurer of things, not as good a builder. I'm not the engineer. I'm the mechanic. So there's kind of a ceiling you hit with tech support, where you're just kind of doing the same stuff all the time and the variety goes away. So consulting, at the company I was at doing tech support, I did a SharePoint project, and I ran the whole thing. And it was that was the first time I really stretched out of my normal role, and realized I can do other stuff. I can learn things. I can kind of grow out of this. So after doing that, working with it for quite a while, I decided I need to move on and do consulting. So after consulting and doing SharePoint consulting for about 12 years, I saw an opportunity, because one of the things when I came aboard SDG is I fell in love with the company because of the people. It's always been the people. And I thought an opportunity to be a consultant for my own company and support these people, it's like a whole new mission. And, I can actually impact a lot of what we do. I'm supporting our core businesses. I'm supporting our people and taking away those technical barriers, all those worries. If they don't even have to think about it, if they can just say, hey, Kyle, and just not worry about it, then, my job is done. I like to be the hero. I like to save the day. I like to help people out. I love shopping. I get to buy stuff.
Yeah.
Yes. So it all fits. And then being able to create new things, like when we went remote, creating those e-signature systems for new hire paperwork and all that kind of stuff. So and I get to do fun stuff with operations, like make videos and work on the website and all that kind of stuff. It's just such a broad, I've always been sort of a jack of all trades. It's such a broad array of stuff that every day is a new set of challenges. I never know what's going to happen. All my plans, all my fancy plans for what I'm going to get done in a day can go out the window the first 5 minutes. So I like I like that agility and flexibility of reacting to that stuff. To me, it's fun. That challenge is fun. I complain about it. It can be frustrating, but then when you fix it, when you spend 2 days to learn the 5-minute fix for something, you have those moments. And I rarely ever have a conversation with anybody I work with at SDG where we're not laughing and having a good time. So it's just it's a pleasure to provide support to our people for me.
Such a giver, Kyle. Give.
That's when that answer started. 12:34.
That's not bad.
No, it's not bad, Kyle.
Yeah.
That's not bad at all.
Any questions?
All right. So, Peter, you might have to think back a while for this one, but so I want you to think about all of your experiences at SDG, and I want to know sort of what was that pivot for you? You guys are here, you're investing your time into doing this podcast, so there was a switch for you that made SDG become more than just a place that you work at. So more than you just come in every day, you log in, do your tasks. But what was that pivoting point that made you want to invest in the company and grow the culture and grow relationships with the people that work here?
Yeah, it's funny when you say have to think way back. When I started with SDG, I kind of started in the same position that Chad did. So I knew a lot of people that were here, and I knew it was going to be a blast. There's a hallway at SDG that's just full of pictures of all the different events and fun things that we've done. And every once in a while, I like walking through that hallway and just seeing all the fun things that we've done with all the people at SDG. And it's just such an amazing collection of people that, the people are certainly it. I know that the ESOP was sort of a super cool thing that happened too along the way but well before that, I was always giving a little extra, trying to make the company a little bit better and grow stronger, doing tech interviews and fun things like that. So, this is the longest I've ever worked anywhere, and it's probably going to be the place that I retire from. So, it fits like the perfect glove with both the consulting opportunities and the fun things that we do at SDG. That's what does it for me.
Chad, you look like you're thinking hard down in there.
Oh, here's the thing, Emily, I'm never really thinking that hard. But I mean, we keep harping on it, and I hope it doesn't get boring for our listeners, but it's really, the same thing that Peter said. It's the thing that got me to be excited about being here. Is being here, right? Like, it didn't take much convincing for me to switch from what I was doing to becoming a part of SDG. The timing worked out well, and it was kind of almost a no-brainer, right? When I talked to the folks that I talked to come into SDG. So you keep saying it, and it gets repetitive and probably boring for the listener, but it is like the people that you're going to work with here are just better than, anywhere else. I don't want to sound too aloof, but
No, I don't want to knock where everybody else works, but I'm just saying.
But we've taken good people from all those places and put them together under one organization, right?
Not really. We've taken the best people from all those places right? And then put them under one roof, and then put them together on projects, and then gave them free reign to kind of shape the company the way they want to, right? And that's kind of a huge part of this, is that like I've never been anywhere before where I've never had this many opportunities to shape what I want the culture to look like at a place, right? Like, and it's not just lip service, right? So I'm part of the employee experience committee. And so I get real input into what our day-to-day, and Elle's there with me. We get real input into what we want the employee experience to look like. Outside of owning your own business, I don't think you're going to find that anywhere else, right? They actively invest time. I believe we have a full-time role dedicated to our SDG communities and involvement in getting employees involved in that sort of thing, right? That's what Professor Urban does. Yeah. So
that last thing you said is the secret sauce. That's the ball game, is the ability to like have an impact and like hear the word yes to your ideas. Like, I want to do a podcast. Okay. I think we should do a big event. Okay. It's like, and then, feeling like you're part of the machinery that is making that experience better. Sorry, Chad, I just wanted to hop on there. And
no, I was really done. I mean, and then, for roles like I'm in right now, I'm the tech lead, solution arc. Miss Hertigan actually listed all the roles I'm fulfilling on the project that I'm on right now. And it is, she got half of them. But like, you really do get to step up and be whatever you want to be. And for me to be able to do this here, outside of owning my own thing, this is the next best thing, right? I get to take care of the team the way I feel like, I would want to. So, and SDG completely supports us doing that. I kind of repeating myself. Elle, you go. What is the Emily's question? I forget. She asked a little ago. Sorry, Emily.
What changed SDG from a place to work to where you enjoy working and want to stay?
Yes.
Yahtzee.
I would absolutely echo the fact that employees are encouraged to share their ideas, share their opinions, and that can have a very real impact on the culture at SDG and the types of opportunities that we go after for placement. I think a lot of so I have worked in consulting outside of SDG before, and one of the biggest things for me came right when I started at SDG, where I was on the bench for a couple weeks, just as they were looking at where I might be a good fit for current clients, and the fact that there were other people on the bench with me some people were learning new things, some people were taking opportunities to go have lunch with members of our ops team. Other people were collaborating together on projects so that they could kind of learn in a group. And there wasn't a ominous sense of doom that we're on the bench. That means that our jobs are at risk, or we're going to get stuck with the worst assignment ever. Like something that might be in place at other consulting companies where the bench can be a very tenuous position. And so the fact that I saw that not only was that a safe place to be, it was it was an opportunity to just, hey, do whatever you want to do. Have fun, help, like go after where you want your career to go, no matter what that is. So I found that encouragement to be awesome. And then to also be on the bench at the same time as we had an SDG Presents event on painting miniature figurines. And then a couple weeks later was the big event. So I got to hear all about functional programming, which I hadn't been exposed to yet. So just the sheer variety of opportunities that people have to show their passion was really inspiring to me. And I think that the last thing I'll say is as we're getting ready either to roll off a client or we're on the bench potentially going to a new client, the amount of pre-information that I can get and the willingness for the ops team, other consultants who might be at a client to share information about, okay, we really want to make this a good experience for you and the client. Let's talk through what the problem is that needs to be solved, what type of work you'll be doing to make sure that it's going to be beneficial for both sides. That is also something that isn't always the case in consulting. And so I really, really appreciate that collaboration and sensitivity to trying to make everybody as happy and satisfied as possible.
Cool. So
there you have it, Chad.
So sort of in that same vein, like talking about the technology industry.
Hang on.
Oh, excuse me.
Just going to go right by.
We figured you covered it already, Kyle.
Right.
You already said what the secret sauce is.
Yeah, you already.
But I that was just interrupting Chad to support what he had said.
Got it.
But I never got to tell my story that will take the next 11 minutes.
Perfect.
No. I had never worked at a place that tries so hard to be a great place to work, to be a good experience for employees, or that shared my, like ideas of what companies should be and what customer service should be. And, other places, you go to work at a company and it's always, they're the company. You're not the company. They're the company. And you're outside jumping up and down, screaming. I got all these ideas. Hey, I think I could help out. I think I could add to this. And there's just no response, no interest. Then I start working at SDG and they pull you inside and they do you have anything? Do you have any ideas?
Have any ideas?
What do you want to do? What do you like to do? Who are you? So it's like, wow, they're genuinely interested in me. They genuinely want to hear my ideas, and then they're genuinely going to actually implement them. And the ability to look back on the last 11 years at all the things I've been a part of and all of the ways I've helped shape the company, and watching the ways other people do. And it's like you look at our Slack groups, our Slack channels, and all of the interests and things we're into and all the activity out there. We genuinely like working together and hanging out together. And right now it's remote, but it's still happening. I think that core of our culture is still alive, even with all of this remote, pandemic, whatever nonsense is going on. So that's what I liked about it. And that's how I spent my summer vacation. It's my book report. Yeah. Okay, Emily, back to you.
Good to go. Okay, thanks. So talking about technology, it's ever changing. Future trends, like Elon Musk is sending people to outer space, all of those things. There's Alexa.
Sure he is.
Yeah, he is, Elon. So what makes you excited about this industry, or what are those future trends or new things that you're seeing that interest you or that make your day-to-day better?
I'm going to just answer quickly because I took up too much time. For me, it's all the collaboration tools and the speed, the pipeline, the infrastructure that's letting us do all of this stuff that we're doing now is phenomenal. That's what I'm excited about. Peter, go ahead.
I love riding the technology wave, no matter which wave it is. I just have a blast being bleeding edge, trailing edge, leading edge, whichever edge, all the edges. It's just fun. And part of being a consultant is staying up to date on everything, or as much things as you can. And being at SDG and doing cloud stuff and doing .NET stuff, and hanging out with smart people that are doing weird languages like R, which is a language, or
What's wrong with R?
it's just, it's a little different than some of the other traditional languages. That's all.
Is that
I'm not
just the
saying that
letter
there's-
R?
Yeah,
Yes.
Letters can't
Exactly.
be words.
Yes.
heavily.
Tell that to A. Yeah.
Tell that to C#.
And Python and C# and JavaScript and TypeScript and all the, everything. It's so fun. And I've loved every minute of it, and I will continue to. It's just a blast doing fun things with technology and making them do what they're supposed to. So, how about you,
Chad.
Al? Oh,
No, I'm going to go Chad next.
Oh, I wants to take the last word.
He's the one who said no. I'm very curious because Chad, you said that one of the things you really like about consulting is the people, and it's less about the technology. So I'm curious if there are particular aspects of technology that perk your ears up.
No, there's not. Like, this is the fun thing about being
Not even like the smokers that you can control with your phone.
Yeah, everything being connected is neat. But like one of the things that makes, I don't know, maybe me successful as a consultant is just recognizing the patterns, right? Like, hey, you're still storing data over here, you're displaying it over here, right? And that is, in a nutshell, a heck of a lot of what we want to do, right? Whether the display is a phone these days or a tablet, or it's coming out of a speaker in your office, you're still, hey, this data over here needs to be exposed over here. The patterns that we've established that do those jobs are the same regardless of if it's in the cloud, if it's in whatever. And I think sometimes we get a little too caught up in some of like, oh, this is a new whatever. I'm still writing Java code, right? Like, just like I did not just like I did, the tool sets around it.
Let's hope not.
Have gotten a little nicer and more convenient, right? Like, but, and maybe that's the biggest thing for me is like, there's our development environments are so much slicker these days than they were in 2000, right? Or in the late 90s. The ability for me to write something, not have to send it off to an entire IT department, but the SDLC pipeline is so much more tight now. That's kind of neat. But one of the things that that I've noticed is that it's just the same stuff all over again, right? Like, it's your code running on, we can call it the cloud. It's just somebody else's computer, but
Cloud
it's running
is the new
somewhere.
mainframe.
Yeah, yeah, right. Like, what I used to run on the mainframe might be a Lambda function in the cloud, and that sounds super, super cool, but it's still somebody else's computer, right? It's just the process of getting it from my laptop to that thing is a little different and a little nicer. That's my take. L?
Are you done sucking all the magic out of our wonderful world of technology?
No, the magic is our ability to recognize that pattern and just repeat it. And repeat it faster and more eloquently for our customers, and to be able to explain how we're doing that to folks, right? That's the magic.
Which is exactly why I want the Chad Jettner solution architecture series.
Yeah.
I will.
This is dumb.
We've done this and we've done that. That's this and this is that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Elle, what are you excited about? Technology.
I am excited in the last couple of years in particular, as the cloud and data wave has crashed over the Midwest, to see more companies embracing that. And by that, I mean potentially looking at their data and their data development in a way that is more similar to traditional software development. So how can we do data development in a way that is more agile? How can we talk about having reusable pipelines? How can we talk about source control? How just things that are at the core of of good software development making its way to the data end. And I think that's exciting because that means there are going to be a lot more opportunities for us to all get out of the way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So just like, all right, let's get to something usable and exciting and analyzable that much faster. It's just that is really the exciting thing for me.
I will say one more thing.
Yeah.
Huh.
Low code, the ability to rapidly create solutions without having to be a Java developer or a .NET developer, but having those way better tools to be a configurator, and a lot of them getting to the point where there's going to be stuff that end users and business folk, not as technical people,
Totally,
they'll be able to do to innovate and solve their own problems. And so I think that that and the automation piece, with the workflow engines out there, things like that, and the kind of the robotic process automation stuff, where I can show my system here how I do my job, and then it can go, oh, I can do that. Yeah, let me help you out with that. So this repeatable process thing you have to do to move all this stuff around, just watch me do this, and then okay, now you do this every week. And then I'm
which
go to,
which then opens up
spa.
time for saying, okay, the robotic process automation can do that. Now we actually have time to, okay, let's find the holes in this. So for example, like now, having wider spread adoption of machine learning algorithms. Okay, now we need to be talking about what are the biases in those algorithms and how do we account for that to help keep things balanced and to use our energy in a more productive way than the Jenkins server is down again.
Yeah, I think that
I tell you.
You get more time to like really stretch your legs and focus on solving problems and moving forward instead of getting things to work.
Yeah.
And keeping the lights on. It's like the more resilient platforms. Yeah.
Okay. So
the downside though is the rapid change for all this stuff is that when it's other people's computers and systems, they make changes to them all the time, and there's that kind of keeping up piece to it that's a challenge.
Hey, Elk, Emily, can we ask you a question?
yes.
What's your perfect Saturday look like? Like, actually, This is the question. Yeah, this is your question at the end of the thing, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
it's a good
you
question.
go first.
Okay. My perfect Saturday, I would wake up maybe around 9:30 because I like to sleep in and stay up late. So I'd wake up, well, that's not really late. I used to be able to really dig in until like 1 p.m., but I just can't do that anymore. So it's around like 9:30 or 10. If I hit 10, I was really tired. So I'll wake up around there, drink some coffee. Love coffee, just got a new coffee maker, and it brings a lot of joy in the mornings, which I don't particularly love mornings, so I need a lot of joy during then. And then I would say I probably have plans later on at night with my friends, so I will coordinate my day around that. So I have a dog who needs lots of exercise, so I'll take him out to the dog park or go on a walk. I'll hang out on my couch, take my time, search a little YouTube, watch some YouTube videos or Netflix or do that, be lazy in the afternoon, and then start getting ready, take my time, and then go meet up with my friends, go to a brewery, have some food, and then since the pandemic, I have been going out and then coming in early, so an early night around 11:30, if that's early to you guys, I don't know. And then, yeah, that's it. And then go to bed, wake up on Sunday, and hopefully be a little bit more productive. But that's about it.
Nice.
What about you guys? Chad, since you asked me, I'm going to ask you.
All of my Saturday, well, most of my mornings start out the same, right? So I pop out of bed at like 5:30 a.m. at the latest. I pop up, I go into the kitchen, I set out my wife's coffee and her breakfast for her, and I'm a little pedantic about it, right? Like the bowl's in a certain position, the spoons are always at 3 o'clock. I fill up the coffee machine, I get their coffee served for her. I put her Cheerios out, center it on the bowl, right? Because that's just how you do it. She puts her Cheerios in this container, and if the container is getting low, I get the next box out of the cupboard and I put that behind the container. I open the box for her so that she doesn't accidentally get a paper cut. And I get that all set up for her. And then on Saturday mornings at about 6:30, 7 a.m., I get in my truck and I head down to the Ideal Diner. I have my breakfast down there. I hang out with my friends at the diner for a little bit. After the diner, I will swing through the Minneapolis Farmers Market, and then head home, and then pick up my wife, who has had her breakfast and coffee. Her and I will go out for drinks somewhere. We've got a whole variety of bars we go to. Well, we got two. And then and then we usually head home, and that's the night. And then I do the same thing. Well, the breakfast routine is the same almost every day. And then every third Saturday night, I play poker with a bunch of old guys in a locksmith shop garage in Northeast Minneapolis. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. Elle, what do you do? Please tell me it's not as OCD as mine. Like, I just want a free living. Like, I get up whenever, I do whatever I want, and that's it.
Kinda, yeah.
Okay. All right. That makes me feel good.
Yeah, I will deliberately not set an alarm, get up whenever I wake up. Usually have a donut with some form of TV, podcast, internet noise. Do a little exercise, go take a nap, wake up, read, watch a movie, do some sewing, play some games. And then, yeah, if we're talking perfect Saturday, we'll probably have like dinner, either with my partner, we'll go out somewhere, or with friends, and then see music or theater or comedy something.
Nice.
Come home, have some ice cream or candy, and pass out.
Nice.
Peter, what about you?
Oh, man, my ideal Saturday is 400 hours long, and it would start with me getting up whenever. Now that my kids are getting older, I get to sleep in because they can self drive and get places, which is nice. I mean, there's so many hobbies that it's almost a little
Daunting.
ADHD. Yeah, it's like I'll do 5 minutes of this, I'll do 7 minutes of this. I got a 3D printer, I'll get a print going, I'll get some code going, I'll play with whatever program I've downloaded, and like, there was something on the internet I found and it was written in R, so I got to pull down R and learn that to do what it was doing.
So
are.
L, with your psychology background, is that technically clinically ADHD, or is that just Peter Saturday?
That's Peter Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
There's woodworking, and then as a homeowner, there's always a project.
Always.
At the end of every project is the best time because the project's done. And yeah, hang out with family and hopefully play some non-boring games. Maybe watch a movie with the family. That's always fun, especially, one of the ones that we all enjoy, which is kind of a fun thing. Everybody gets into it, and then go to bed and hang out. So yeah, but yeah, I need that 400-hour-long Saturday because there's so many things I want to do, and getting started and getting completed are two different things.
Very much.
That's
so.
for sure.
Mhm.
Definitely.
How about you, Kyle?
Oh, Saturdays. They're glorious. Roll out of bed. Like try to sleep as long as I can, but not like sleep the day away.
But not ruin your Sunday sleep.
Right.
Mm.
So roll out of bed. Sometimes it's 8 a.m. Sometimes it's noon. And go right in my kitchen, fire up the coffee, my home roasted, freshly ground coffee beans, try to make the perfect cup of coffee. Then while that's going, I clean my kitchen for the first time in a week. And
Oh, so ideally you've had 5 days off, right?
right. So I
Nice.
clean my kitchen so that I can make eggs Benedict, which is my favorite breakfast, and it's my kind of tea ceremony. Every time is trying to get closer to perfection with the
Nice.
consistency of the hollandaise and the eggs, the poached eggs, and
Yeah.
so I'm very meticulous about the getting that going. Then I have my breakfast, and then goof around, read the internet, um, articles, and maybe listen to podcasts, watch some videos. Um, Before I screwed up my hand, there was a couple hours of guitar in there. Um, but I played too much guitar, and now I'm taking a break for my hand to heal. So then it's figuring out, like, what am I going to watch? I'm a movie buff. I love watching stuff. So there'd be some kind of movie. So my supper is usually making the perfect batch of movie theater popcorn at home,
Oh yeah.
which I've been trying to perfect as well, using all the wonderful cheap ingredients they use. And yeah, then I'll watch a movie, Marvel movies, or I'll watch a show. I'm rewatching Game of Thrones right now. I'm trying to
have a happy, good time.
I'm really trying to, like, okay, can I give these guys a break and really try to enjoy the last 2 seasons despite all of the panic, the freak out, the whatever happened that turned these people on those 2 guys, the show creators. Are they really that bad? Like, they're so enjoyable. I like watching them. Yeah, then it's, I've got my big TV, I've got my home theater experience, my surround sound, and I have it up way too loud. But I have my own house. It's not a townhouse. I don't share walls with anybody. So if you drive by my house, though, and I'm watching a movie, you'll probably hear it in the street. Yeah. Because I can't hear the dialogue. So, it's like I have to have it way too loud, and then the explosions shake the house because they talk like this. And they'll have an explosion, and they'll talk like this again. It's like, oh, man, somebody fix that. So that's usually it. Or maybe it's opening packages that I've for all the crazy stuff I buy on impulse online.
Impulse packages. Those are the best.
Yes. Hey, another hooded sweatshirt. Yeah. What color is it? Black. Why? Because everything I wear is black.
Because then it matches.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Awesome. I like
That's
those
all I
questions,
have.
Emily. That was good stuff.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you, Emily.
Yes. Happy to be here. Thank
All
you
right.
for answering them.
Emily, are you
Try.
coming back next week?
Nope, sorry. I'm a one time and one time only.
This is it.
We
Maybe.
might be able to get you like next year. Like maybe it's
I
a
bet
once
we
a
can
year
fix
thing.
Yeah.
Maybe.
All right. That was a long SDG podcast. Thanks for listening.
Mm-hmm.
Say goodbye,
Done.
Chop that
everybody.
in.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Solution Design Group is a digital product consultancy in Minneapolis. Check us out on the web at solutiondesign.com or look for us on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram at Solution Design Group.